Advice was given to those who followed the path of light. And as you said, you were also advised not to live in a city, but to receive the dictations somewhere out in the nature. And here it is also advised, do not live in cities, move to villages, and so on. Well, you probably realize that the villages are nearly empty these days. People leave them to live in the cities. There is almost no infrastructure like there was before. If a person moves there, they deprive themselves of basic things, all the cultural needs. They can't even go to a concert. First, you need to install a heating system, and then maybe an old abandoned house needs to be repaired. There is no hot water supply. There is nothing. You know, a young family can do it, but when you are older, when you are retired, you cannot move there by yourself. It is very difficult to create this living environment for yourself. Then how is it possible to maintain this inner harmony while living in a city?
I can only give you an example from my own life experience. In 2007, Tatyana Martinenko and I returned to Omsk together, and I could not live in the city. Some transformation happened inside me, and I stopped feeling good in the city. In 2007, I was already in a very bad condition. I was sick in bed and could not walk. I tried to work on the computer lying down in order to maintain the website. And the question was whether I would die or move to the countryside as the masters had advised. If we do not understand something, God puts us in such circumstances that we cannot act otherwise. That is why in 2007, Tatyana and I moved to the countryside. It was a log cabin made of thick logs. There was no water, no electricity, and no internet either.
And how did you maintain the website?
Well, Tatyana and I survived there somehow, thanks to other people's financial help. One man bought and sent us a diesel-powered generator. We were buying diesel fuel, and thus we had enough electrical power so that we could charge our mobile phones and computers. If we walked around a bit holding the cell phone in the hand, we could pick up the internet signal and we could send out our newsletters. We lived in such conditions for some time. And I was able to live there, you see.
So such conditions then evolve that you can survive, if there is a great need.
Somehow everything came in alignment for us, you see. It was simply magic.
This was help from above.
Yes. But the masters say that each example like this is already needed for something. The masters tell us that our future is the community of the Holy Spirit, they say. There was just the two of us, and we managed to survive in an open field, with practically nothing on hand, just an open field and nothing else around. And we were able to install plumbing and electricity. We did everything, and it was warm in the house.
Yes, but you need help of other people.
Yes, but it turned out to be a community in a way. So a single person cannot do anything. But when several people get together,
The like-minded people.
well, yes, the like-minded people, but you see, on a certain level of consciousness, all of us are like-minded. When our vibrations are low, at the level of our lower chakras, the first 3 chakras, then contradictions and conflicts arise. All is wrong, everyone is bad, and the enemies are everywhere. But when we raise our energy to the heart chakra, to this level, then at this level, benevolence, friendship, cooperation, mutual help, and support appear. And we become like brothers and sisters. Then we do not have any contradictions.
And when the energies rise up to this level, you attract similar people, right?
That is the community level. Then you see, when we create community on a lower level, it turns into something like kolkhoz, a Soviet collective farm. Do you remember it? Why kolkhoz? Because people didn't have a high level of consciousness and they thought there was no God. You know, right? But when people come together based on a good, appropriate level of consciousness, look, each person doesn't have to have a tractor. You can have one tractor for everyone to use. You don't have to have a separate garden for each person. Everybody can work in a community garden. If you want to go to a concert in the city, as you say, you can buy one bus for the community. So all these advantages should be used. But in order for such community to succeed, first of all, there must be people that have come to a particular level of consciousness. And the second thing is that the community should be able to protect itself, because this level of consciousness differs strongly from the one existing in the world. No one will allow you to create such community very easily, because it is too good. It solves absolutely all problems, financial problems, issues with property. It solves absolutely all problems. So originally there needs to be the right level of consciousness, and then a loving space appears.